we are streaming live on our website at www.ctv.co.ug/live. My name is Priva Elibaz, and welcome to Twitter Jabs 2. We continue the conversation, I beg your pardon, that we had on Twitter Jabs 1, and that was in regard to the youth empowerment and inclusion on a socio-economic and political level. Joining me in studio is Mr. Epitu Gadi, who is the Publicity Secretary of the National Youth Council, as well as Dr. Nancha Esther, who is the Vice Chairperson of the National Youth Council. Good morning, lady and gentlemen. Yes, welcome to the show. Well, the first question I'm going to pose it to you, Dr. Nancha. What's the mandate of the National Youth Council?
First of all, good morning to you all. I would like to inform some of the people that do not know about the National Youth Council. Briefly, what the National Youth Council is. The National Youth Council is the umbrella body for all youth in Uganda. It was established by the Act of Parliament, so it's a government organization, and it's a body for all the youth between the ages of 18 and 30 in Uganda. And the mandate is mainly to organize the youth of the country, mobilize them, and protect them from any form of manipulation. So we work closely with all those organizations that engage the youth or are there to empower the youth, to ensure that at the end of the day, the youth of the country are protected from any form of manipulation or anything that can cause harm to them.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah,
well, Mr. Epitu, for the benefit of the viewers, what is the APRM Symposium and what should the youths expect from it?
Thank you so much, our host of today. Good morning, viewers.
Good morning.
The APRM, the African Peer Review Mechanism Symposium, that is going to take place in Uganda. This is an event that is organized by the Office of the Prime Minister of the Government of Uganda in partnership with the African Peer Review Mechanism and the African Union. It's going to start from the 4th to the 9th of July. That is starting next week. And this event is going to call upon several countries. We are going to have panelists, we are going to have professors from different countries that are going to come and share their ideas. And then we are also going to have the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency, opening the program on the 5th of July. And of course, is going to address the symposium. And that is going really to advise the symposium on prosperity and security of the continent at large. As you are aware that the vision of this, the theme of this symposium is repositioning the youth agenda for a transformative continent.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are really expecting a lot. We're expecting a lot in terms of governance, youth governance. We're expecting a lot in terms of youth employment, innovations and technology. We are expecting discussions on climate change, also sexual reproductive health that is basically affecting mostly the women. And also we are going to look at the idea that the boy child most of the time has been left out. How can they bring them back on board so that most of the incidents of rape can reduce? Then also we are going to look at things on refugee migration across the continent. So basically that is what really we're going to look at in the symposium.
Okay, well, for starters, I would love to know, Dr. Nancha, to what extent are the youth involved in the social, political, and economic setup of Uganda?
On Uganda?
Yeah, to what extent do you think the youth have been involved in those aspects, the political, the social, and economic setup so far as of now? Yes.
So far, most of the leaders in the different levels, I think you also know as news anchors that youth have really taken up the leadership positions in the different areas. So politically, yes, we are trying to get involved in the leadership of the country, given that even in the different local governments, presently, the youth are taking up most of the leadership positions.
Yeah.
And then economically, to tell you the truth, we are trying to get there, but we are not yet where we want to be. There is a lot of challenges that the young people are facing to be part of the economic development of the country. Most of us are not employed. we are facing the challenge of unemployment. However, we think that if we try to engage and find solution to some of the problems economically, we can try to step up. So far, though there are lots of challenges that are facing us to get employed, there are lots of youth that are graduating and they are not being employed. But initially, if we talk about bringing maybe lots of people on board to encourage the youth to start up something small, or to try to support the youth, or to try to encourage them to do lots of other things besides being employed, we can get there. So we are still hopeful. We are, as the National Youth Council, we are trying to bring very many organizations on board, not only government, but also non-government organizations, to try to work on the mindset change, to try to work on skilling of the young people. And our government is also trying to bring up on board projects like the parish development model that will empower the young people. However, charity begins at home.
At home, yes.
There is a role that our parents, that religious leaders have to play in this, because if you're trying to train your child right from childhood on how to work hard, on how to start up something,
yes,
try to talk to the young people. I believe if everyone plays their role like it used to be done in the past days, economically we shall get there. Yes. Then socially, yes, I think we are there socially. People are trying to interact. We have very many social media platforms. Have Facebook, have Twitter. You young people are really getting involved, and there are highest numbers of people on those platforms. So I think socially we are picking up. Politically, yes, every young person is getting there politically. Economically, we are really trying to strive, but I believe we shall get there.
We shall make it at the end of the day.
True.
Well, Mr. Epito, I'd like to ask you, what are some of the avenues that the government has put in place to support the youth across all spheres?
Thank you very much. You know, when you asked that question, I asked myself, really, you know, most of the avenues where youth have been benefiting from, I can say you look at the YLP program that was scrapped off, and that was benefiting the youth in the country. Now we have the parish development model, which is really not, you know, not bringing the idea of the youth. We have tried to, you know, engage most of the government officials from our line ministry, Ministry of Gender, and also in the local government, to ensure that the youth participate in the parish development model, and they have the allocation of 30% fund increment. But of course, when you look at it, we are looking at the composition, which is really not benefiting the youth in the country. So there are limited spaces that the youth have been given to benefit. Basically, where the youth now are benefiting from are from the non-government organizations, and that basically depends on the lobbying skills of a particular group. And of course, you also see we are having challenges. Even the youth in business world, you cannot advertise on media. Why? Because there are a lot of taxes on the internet. Facebook was blocked up to date. So we don't have really that much bigger space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, to what extent do you think the politics have affected or helped the youth empowerment? Do you think politics has played a role in this altogether? Yes.
Okay, thank you. Personally, politics has really done a lot of more harm than good, because presently politics is the more, being a leader somewhere is being more paid than even someone who is doing a lot of work. You see, teachers are striking presently. They went to school, they studied, they are teaching our people, but you're not seeing their role. They are really being paid less compared to a politician. So people are finding politics as a job, as they're doing politics as unemployment. That is actually giving them a lot of money. So it is good to be in those positions, but it's like presently it's killing a lot of the hope of our people, because instead of politicians doing their role of legislation, they have made politics now a job. So youth are being demoralized in a way that instead of working hard, trying to make it to their life, like working hard to get to make it to their best, they are looking at getting positions. How am I going to get this position? How am I going to become this MP here and there? That is one of the side. Then it is also good because presently Then on the right side of the game, people are getting to know lots of things. There is a lot of mindset change. There is a lot of information being given to the young people. Yes. So leadership is a very good thing. People are being given information about what to do in life. What should you, if you face this challenge, what should you do? Where do you go? Information movement has really gone up, but then people are not working anymore because they are looking at getting fast money.
Yes.
Quick money, which is not the way to go, because at the end of the day, our generation, the next future, I do not think people are going to really work. And yet we need to have the young people work and develop our country as a whole.
Okay, well, Mr. Epit, what do you make of this? Do you think politics has affected or benefited youth empowerment?
It's a win-win situation. We cannot say it has affected so much, because at large it has also benefited the youth, because most of the youth have taken up the political positions. That is not now a rumor. Most of the youth have taken out the political positions. But then, what happens to the youth that have not yet taken up these political positions? You find they are deprived of, and you see our politics are so monetized. And also it really affects the youth in aspect that they cannot participate in the major politics of the country. They have to take up the spaces just at the local government, at the lower government level, councils. Why? Because they cannot access the finances to really be able to reach the parliament level, and of course those bigger spaces. So it really affects the monetization of the politics. Really has affected the youth so much. But we really appreciate the ones that have taken up, and we believe that with time, the youth are going to take up all these spaces, because many are coming up, and I believe with the mindset that is going to be impacted on them, I believe they're going to take up most of these spaces, and we are going to benefit as the youth of the country.
Okay. Yes, please do supplement.
I think that now political leaders who are presently in those positions need to play a role. That is mindset change. Wherever you are, just like I was too impressed during the COVID period that everyone was spreading the gospel of wash your hands, put on a mask, etc. So if we take up that role of sensitization, talk to the young people right from childhood, right from primary school, at the end of the day, I believe our country will be a better place to live in if we try to empower the young people, even simply talking to them as they grow up, how best they can handle life. At the end of the day, I believe we can be in a better place. So it's a role for everyone, not only political leaders, but since they are heard everywhere, they can take up that first position. Then you have religious leaders in churches to play that bigger role, plus our parents at home. I believe at the end of the day, our country will be a better place.
Be a better place. Well, I'm going to pose this question to you, Mr. Epitu. What are some of the countries that Uganda can benchmark on in regard to improving this youth inclusion in policy making? Which countries are actually going to help some of our youths down here?
Okay, I can't really point out many of them, but as you can know, the continent of Africa, most of our economy is already broken down, and it is really hard to really pinpoint. But of course, when we look at the AU, the African Union, they can really advise a lot on the countries that Uganda can benchmark on. The COVID situation brought a situation where, it is really hard to see which country really has a good, but we can copy some. Yeah,
what are some of the model countries that you're trying to emulate?
Out of Africa, at least I can say maybe the US. The US, yeah. We can
outside
copy
Africa.
We can copy their policies, and they can help us in achieving something. Yeah, but within Africa, I still don't see really where we are reaching, because every now and then we are seeing a difference, a coup, all the things happening. So I cannot really pinpoint, but I can copy, because I see the policies of US really are so well.
Okay, well, Dr. Nancha, how about this social notion that when you talk of youths, some people only think it's about the boys and less of the girls? What do you think of that? Gender balance.
Youth is everyone as long as you're in the age bracket. It's not only the male and not the female. Yes, that is why we actually have to come up and empower our women. There are very many NGOs in Uganda that are empowering the girl child, and we are grateful. Thank you so much for the work you are doing. But I would like to inform everyone, the viewers, that youth is not only male. Even the female are part of the youth as long as you're in the age bracket in Uganda between 18 and 30 years. So even when you're female, you should take up the position, stand, in case there is anything for the youth, get involved. As long as they say youth and you're in the age bracket, get involved. Do not sit back. No one is going to come and pull you out unless you pull yourself out.
Okay, well, Mr. Epetu, do you think people generally, socially think about boys when it comes to the youth? Like boys are getting more opportunities as opposed to girls? Do you think that's right, or it's just a mindset that people have as a general public?
You know, the African culture first
culture.
put the boys ahead
true.
first. But then it is changing. We are looking at things are changing. You look at everything is now about the girl child, You look at our government, the vice president, a woman, you come prime minister, a woman, minister president, a woman, you come to speaker, a woman. So you see that the women are taking over the spaces. And most of the NGOs are coming up with programs that basically support the girl child. And they are forgetting the boy child. And that is why you're seeing most of the instances of family violence. You see, the boy child has been left out. No one is talking to them. No one is advising them.
Yes.
So people still think that the African culture is still there to protect the boy child, but no, the boy child is losing it completely. It's losing it completely. So the girl child has taken over, and we should really rethink something so fast so that the boy child can be talked about, so that they can also come back, to a sense where they can also be respecting the women. But at this point in time, the boy child is losing it all, and we are having a lot of issues. And of course.
So we call upon NGOs. Please come and support the boy child. They need your help. They need to be empowered. We are going to beat them from houses. Please come and save them. Yes.
Well, now still talking about the symposium, this being the third, what are some of the results or some of the fruits you got out of the first and the second APRM symposium?
I did not attend that in particular. I do not know if my colleague has any of the information from the former ones, because I'm presently more involved in the third. Do you have anything that you think benefited in the previous, the first and the second symposium, and now?
Not really. I didn't take too much on studying the past, but then what I look at the present, I'm really looking at a better. Because right now, I believe in the previous times, it was not really basically not targeting youth like right now. So youth are really special interest groups, and the population of youth is going higher. So the strategies have changed, and right now we are looking at empowering the youth, and also putting them in better places.
I like the fact that you said empowering the youth, because that is one of the objectives of this third APRM symposium. But do you think some of these objectives that have been outlined, do you think they are feasible? Is it something that you will achieve by 2063, like? As the AU's agenda. Yes, as the AU's agenda.
The main target of this, we're not looking at achieving them there and then, and most of them we're looking at sustainability, and most of them are being achieved already. So we're just going to strengthen some of them, but right now we are going to put them into writing. That's why you saw one of the objectives, one of the outcomes is to write a recommendation report advising the governments of different countries, to take up youth in most of the decision making. So this report is going to advise the future. It's going to advise, and I believe all is going to work out. We are not looking at failure of this symposium. We are looking at the success of all the objectives that have been lined up.
Yes. Do you have anything to supplement on that?
Yes, I believe this is just what we want to do, and it's just a beginning. We are going to work towards this, and at the end of that symposium, there will be a report to advise the AU member states. So I believe, let us have hope that all the objectives as laid down are going to actually be realized. So there are going to be different avenues that are going to be discussed, different ideas will be brought in by the youth themselves. Nothing for the youth without the youth. So the youth are going to gather, they're going to bring in views. How best can these objectives be realized in the different countries where they reside? So at the end of the day, I believe it's going to be a win for us, the young people.
For everyone. Well, something that I'd like to speak on is mental health of the youth. What do you have to say about that? How are you working to at least empower the youth in that regard? Because it is something that is affecting so many people silently and, you know, out there for everyone to see.
Mental health.
Yes, mental health.
Mental health is key. Thank you so much. What we are trying to do as National Youth Council, we are trying to work closely with all, because we are, one of our mandate is to ensure that the young people are not manipulated or misled or misused in the different avenues in their day-to-day life. So we are trying to engage different NGOs that are trying to work with us, even government organizations. As long as you see that they are benefiting the young people, yes, we are there to go. We are there to support and work with them. We are trying to do different mobilizations because you have structures. The National Youth Council has structures right from the village. Youth leaders from the village, every village, whoever has a village in the country, there is a youth committee. Our role is to involve the young people in all those activities that are to ensure that they are better people in the future. So sensitization first of all. Then there are different programs that NGOs are doing in the different schools, primary schools, secondary schools, in the different universities, in the different villages. So that is through those different outreaches that we make, we try to talk to the young people and try to change their minds and try to solve their issues. Where counseling is needed, it's given, and at the end of the day, we believe something better will come out of this.
Mr. Epitu, do you need to supplement on that?
I'm just going to supplement on the APRM.
Yes.
You asked a question earlier on. How we can achieve the objectives.
Objectives, yes.
Now, I missed out a point. You know, we have panelists, and these panelists are well experienced. We have scholars, we have professors, we have, you know, empowered youth, and also we have exhibitions that are going to take place. And I believe with this skill that is being put in the symposium, there is no doubt that the youth are going to learn, the youth are going to implement what they have learned in the symposium. And I know most of the NGOs are going to come and take up most of this skill from the youth. And it also is going to lead to employment of most of the youth. And also the government is going to, you know, readjust their policies that are talking about youth, so that youth can benefit from most of the programs in the country. Yeah.
Well, still speaking of, you know, empowering the youth, which avenue do you think the youths are most likely going to break through? Like, is it politics? Is it socially? Is it via economics? Is it, where do you think that the youth are most likely going to have a breakthrough? After you've impacted them with all this knowledge, all these skills, where do you really see the youth going from here?
After the symposium?
Yes.
Thank you so much. We are going to talk about everything in the symposium. There will be economic, political, and social empowerment, because all of them are important in society. For us to develop, we do not have to focus on only one area. We have to try to engage all those areas such that whoever has capacity anywhere can get involved and sprout from there. So everything is going to be handled during the symposium. Those who want to work will be economically empowered, politically and socially empowered.
Okay, well,
I can add on that. You see, when a group of people come together, it doesn't mean that all of them have the same mindset. They don't have the same idea. And even when exhibitions come in, it's not like they are going to concentrate only on business. No, we are going to have people in agriculture, we are going to have people in the business world, we are going to have, you know, different people exhibiting. So it's where you have your potential to achieve something. So you find they are going to talk about this, You know, when they are preaching something, there is no way you're going to listen to everything. You're going to get
Pick
some
out.
message, one message that is going to, you know, settle with you, and that is what is going to help you achieve. If they're talking about climate change and you're so passionate about climate change, that is your way. If they're talking about employment and you say, okay, employment, can I really work towards this? Yes, you can do. Innovations are there. So people will come with a, you know, a different mindset. Everyone has his own mind and say, when I go to this symposium, when I'm leaving, I need this.
I need to get this out of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as we wrap up the conversation, I'm going to ask you about entertainment. Do you think entertainment has actually played a big role in empowering the youth, or it has actually been detrimental to them in the aspect of, you know, introducing them to things like alcohol, things like drugs?
Thank you. Personally, I think entertainment
Is it good or bad?
I think it has played a role. I will not say it's good or bad, because everything has challenges and importances, and you never know what is weighing what. But personally, I think employment has played a very good role, because everyone has their different capacities. If I can sing, if I can dance, if I can be a poet, if I can write anything, if I can act a film, I'm getting money out of it, and at the end of the day, I'm bettering my life, my siblings, and my family. So that is, we are well to go. We are developing our country. So I think entertainment has actually played a role, and we saw this role actually during COVID, when musicians were trying to spread the gospel about COVID, when actors were doing a role. So at the end of the day, I believe, yes, entertainment has really played a big role, and we should encourage the young people to exploit their talents. If you can sing, come up. If you can dance, come up. No one should stop you. You can, and you will get there like others have. Thank you.
You talked about something. Let's not associate entertainment to alcohol.
Yes, actually.
It is not like everyone who sings, everyone who dances is someone who deals in drugs or drinks. No.
That's what the BD has put out there. That's what we see.
Yeah, that is what people have put. You know, you see, when something has been there happening, so you associate it to that. But entertainment can be achieved from different avenues. You can have entertainment at maybe a band. You can have entertainment at, you know, you can sing in church. That's entertainment. You can dance. In different avenues, you can go and dance in club.
You can play movies.
So it's a variety. Some people even have dance groups that they are hired. So it doesn't mean that they are supposed to really be associated with alcohol. So people should change that mindset. Yeah, that mindset of saying, oh, these people, they are too much into alcohol or this and this. So let's remove that mindset. Absolutely.
So, well, in your closing remarks, what can we expect from the symposium that is going to start? It's going to kickstart on 4th July. That is on Monday. In your closing remarks, just briefly, what the youth can expect.
The youth should expect to be empowered. Come, let's share ideas. Nothing for us without us. Once you registered and you've been called upon, please take it in good health to come around and we discuss more about youth issues. Come and talk about political, socio-economic, social life, and our economic life as the youth of the country. Together we shall get there.
Mr. IP, to your final remarks.
Okay, about the symposium, what the youth should really expect. One thing the youth should expect, I have to mention this, they are going to interact with citizens from different countries. And so it's going to bring, you know, a friendship and a connection that is going to unite the continent. True. And it's going to expose them to different opportunities in the whole continent. And also we expect the mindset of the youth to change really after the symposium. So then also what we expect is that governments should review their policies, you know, after the symposium advises on the policies. So the symposium is going to, you know, study the policies of each government, and after that they're going to review, and the review should really be pro-youth and not just any other. They should redefine the role of youth in different economies and different countries. Then also I have to chip something. I want to thank really the EU the EU really has played a big role for this symposium to take place. They are the major funders for the symposium, and also there are other NGOs. The UNFPA has also taken up some people to sponsor them during. Then plus other sponsors that have come up to take up the youth. Yeah, apparently we have like the participants are around over 800 participants that are going to take place, that are going to participate in the symposium. Let's not really, because physical attendance is limited to a number, but online attendance can also take place. You can log in, you can register, and you can participate through a Zoom link. So it is not, so it is not like bad to only people who are going to participate physically. Even the youth who can't access the venue, who have not been selected, it's not like we have forgotten them, but it's because the spaces really, it is very hard to put everyone. Some need to be left out, and these ones who are going to participate physically will take the message and relay back to their different districts. And because the National Youth Council has selected, at least from each sub-region, there is a participant from each sub-region. So I believe the whole country really is represented.
It's represented pretty well. Well, thank you so much for honoring our invite and making it to the show.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been speaking to Mr. Epitu Gadi, who is the Publicity Secretary for the National Youth Council, as well as Dr. Nancha Esther, who is the Vice Chairperson for the National Youth Council. One of the things that I got out of this conversation is mindset change. At least if you're a youth and you're out there and you want to be empowered in different aspects, whether it's economic, whether it's political, whether it is social, whether it's anything, make sure you are part of the third APR symposium that is going to kick off on 4th July 2022 and will run up to 9th July 2022. Like we mentioned earlier on, it is going to be graced by His Excellency the President of Uganda, that is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. My name is Priva Elibaz. Coming up is our Wellness, Beauty and Lifestyle segment. Good morning.